Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inside Out Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Amber Q, and I'm thrilled that you've joined me today because I'd like to talk about a recent adventure of mine this week when I visited the head office or headquarters, whatever you'd like to use, of TikTok in London. And it was a really interesting experience. So I thought it would be lovely to speak about it. And the first thing that I want to say is that I didn't know anyone going to that particular event. It was an event. There was an event. So I attended. I didn't know anyone. And it reminded me of something, I don't know, that maybe people are familiar with, depending on your outlook. But for me, I think that, it's so interesting because if you go into a room where you don't know anyone or in a space that's unfamiliar, it's kind of, I think, really interesting to see who you're going to meet. But there is that very slight discomfort, and for some people that could be, I guess there could be greater discomfort. But I always like to think that I would choose connection over comfort. And so, I mean, I did know slightly the person who'd organised the event. When I say I kind of slightly knew him, I knew him online, but I'd never met him in person. And I think that this may sound weird, but sometimes I feel like going into an unfamiliar room is a little bit like Britain's Got Talent. Because at the end of the day, you have all these people and they've each got a unique set of skills. And I guess, yeah, it is like Britain's Got Talent because people present themselves. You may make judgments about them by the way they look or their mannerisms. And then suddenly they present their skills and you're like, wow, I didn't know that about them. And your perspective totally changes. And of course, it's just that in life. And it's not just walking into an unfamiliar room, but it's every time we step outside. It's just that in the moment that we meet that person, they may not display their amazing skills, but they're going to have those skills in some facet of life. So I think that that's just, how I see life and how I see people. And I just think that's such a fun way to think of people. So I, went to the headquarters of TikTok, in fact, really, it was because of CapCut, the video editor. That's really why I was there. But obviously, it is owned by TikTok, and the building is all sort of TikTokified, if that makes sense. And so, yes, I found that it was an adventure. And I thought it was just the whole journey was just so interesting because I was excited to go. But then equally, my schedule was quite tight that day. And I was like, I hope I'm going to be there a little bit late. And I hope I'm going to find it, etc. on time. And it was a blessing that I picked the right tube station. And it was right by the tube station. And I was like, wow. And it's so funny because I was walking past and then I thought, hold on, this building name sounds familiar. Could this be it? Right by the station? And I asked somebody who was coming out and they said that it was the correct building. So then I went in, there was a really lovely security person and then they had all this TikTok stuff and I was like, hey, I'm in the right place. So I gave my name to security, did my sign in, etc. And then one of the hosts came to collect me. And, you know, they were just so lovely. They were really sweet. I have been to one of the Facebook headquarters in London, and I have to say that was absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. How many people call it Meta as opposed to Facebook still? I don't know. But anyway, at that time, it was still called Facebook rather than Meta. And I have to say their building was absolutely stunning. And I really liked the Twitter building as well, although that was much smaller and more intimate. I've never been to Google building, although I do have a cousin who works for Google. So who knows? Maybe one day I can get a tour of Google. That would be fun. But apologies, I am digressing again, telling you about all these places that I'm visiting. Let me just tell you, they were one-off visits. I wasn't doing anything fancy there, just attending events. And no, actually at Twitter, I was being interviewed. So that was amazing. Anyway, the point is that I went to this event and it was really great because I met somebody that I've basically known for a short while online. And it was really lovely to meet that person in real life. It's so weird, isn't it? Just to know someone online and then to see them in real life, because you really do get a full sense of someone. It's so interesting. It really is. And as I said, meeting unfamiliar people is like Britain's Got Talent or any talent competition or wherever you are. And can I just say, I'm sure I must have gone to the bathroom at Twitter or at Meta/Facebook. I definitely went to the bathroom at Facebook, I think. I can't remember if I went to the bathroom at Twitter. But what I do want to say is I went to the bathroom at TikTok HQ, and I'm very excited to announce this, they had floss in the form of flossettes in the bathroom. I was like, this is incredible. I should have actually brought one home as a souvenir, but I didn't. I was with another person that I'd met that I didn't know, and we were just both so excited because she had forgotten to bring her dental floss. I am using silk dental floss, which is quite hard to find. So normally I'll grab it from my bathroom and put it in my bag. And I hadn't done that this day, and because I have a limited supply. And I was chatting to this lady about how I would have had floss in my bag because she'd forgotten her bag, her floss rather. And we were both very excited to see the flossette. So I definitely knew I was in the right place. So, hey, TikTok, I love you. Well, I love you for a few reasons, but anyway, or ByteDance, the company. Anyway, so the point is that it's amazing, right? When you meet people that you don't know, because it is like Britain's Got Talent, but in a way it's better than that, right? Because in a way I feel that, I mean, I don't know, is Britain's Got Talent, is that kind of like a lottery, you know? I guess everything is in a way, because how are you feeling on the day? Have you had a bad day or a good day? How are people going to present? But the point is that, let's put that aside because I think that can apply to any situation. But the thing is that I think connecting with people is, you know, it's a collaboration, right? It's something that you both participate in. And I just think that's amazing. And I think that, as I speak about this all the time on the podcast, is it's something that starts with us on the inside. Because, for example, are you someone that doesn't like meeting new people? Or I don't like the word networking. I really don't like that. I just think it's meeting new people and connecting. And for some people, it can be difficult, right? But I just feel that it is, as I said, like Britain's Got Talent, and everyone is just so lovely, right? And I don't know. I just think that, so I had a really fun day. I had a really fun day, and I met people that I've never met before, and we had chats, and there were really interesting people there as well. And I just had such a good time. You know, we had a little office tour afterwards as well, and that was so nice, or a building tour. And yeah, it was just so much fun. And the event itself was really good fun. The staff member was lovely. They were so kind and hospitable. And I guess what I want to say really is the point that I'm telling you all of this. And as I said, I wasn't doing anything fancy there, so really it's not about showing off. I was just lucky to be invited to something and to attend it. And I think they do events kind of on a regular basis for different groups of people. And so really what I want to say is that, you know, in a way we're like trees, right? It's how we're rooted on the inside. How do we feel? Do we feel stable on the inside? How do we feel? Because the thing is that the outside doesn't have to be arranged perfectly. I was just wearing a jacket because the weather was a bit eccentric, let's just say. But, you know, it's kind of what we bring, what we manifest on the outside from the inside, if that makes sense, because it's warmth, right? It's warmth, it's curiosity, and it's presence. And that's how I go into something. I want to experience it, and I'm just curious about people, and I would hope that I'm warm, and I think that's what connection is all about, right? So it's not about sort of looking perfect. It's not about the event. It's just about you, really. It's just about you and the people that you're meeting. And of course, I would be lying if I said that it's extra lovely when you meet people in a beautiful place, beautiful building with beautiful views. Oh my gosh. Honestly, the views of London were stunning. But the reason that I've told you this story is because, you know, we had just a great day and we had snacks and it was just lovely. And then I left with a spring in my step. And so really, I think the reason that I'm sharing this with you is that, I don't know, I'm thinking, is there an event you've talked yourself out of because you didn't know people or you didn't know enough people? Or is there room that you've been avoiding? Or I don't know, maybe an online community where you're kind of watching from the edges, but you're not quite ready to step in. So I think, you know, the reason that I'm mentioning this is because if you are rooted inside, if you kind of, and even if you don't feel like that, if you just want to be curious about people and just think of it as, hey, you know, it's like Britain's Got Talent and you're just going to go in and you're going to find all these amazing people, you know. It's not about being the most confident person in the room or, you know, being perfectly attired. It's just about, I think, showing up, literally, just genuinely, from the inside out. And I do feel that connection will then follow. I don't know. I mean, I had a great time. I met some lovely people. It was a beautiful venue. I learned things that I did not know about CapCut. Did you know it's not just a video editor and it's like a complete suite? Yeah, this is not being sponsored or anything. I'm just saying that's what I learned. It was amazing. I did not know those things. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that with everyone and to encourage you to go to the event, go to the thing, go to the family gathering, whatever it is, and just be curious. Or whether it's even just going to the shops, just be curious about who you are going to interact with. It's great. I mean, I had a great chat with somebody at the tube station actually before I got there because I was asking about directions. And it's quite funny because it was literally the next building. She didn't know, but she was very helpful. Anyway, she was like, oh, look, it must be in that direction. So then I used my card on the other side. Then she let me out on that side, so I didn't have to walk all the way around. It's just lovely. So it's just wonderful. The world is full of wonderful people. And I hope that you can discover that as well the next time you're thinking, oh, I don't know, it could be a new class, it could be a new program, it could be at university, you could be going to, I don't know, graduate school, it could be anything, meeting the in-laws, anything. So yeah, just go in with curiosity and the warmth of being you, and I'm sure it will be great. Until the next episode, let's all create connection and not just change lives, but save lives.